Goody. Ah, there we go. Turn that up a little bit. Turn that up. There we go. There we go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sulk stream. I am your host, the Sulk. The Sulkinator. Me, John. You know who I am. How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a good night, hanging out, chilling, you know, doing that midweek jazz. You know how it is. Being cool. Being good cult members, as always. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the dedication to the craft. The humiliation that you have to go through to be a part of this enclave, let's call it. Tonight we're talking about the BBC. And no, not the porn category. You're sick. You're absolutely sick if you think that. I said corn. Like eating corn. YouTube, don't fuck with me, YouTube. No, we're talking about the British Broadcasting Company and how they are full of shit and legacy media in general. But we're just going to go watch a little documentary that delves into this. So, it won't be surprising, but it will be enlightening. And, yeah. I think that's the gist of what's going on tonight. So, get comfy and cozy and, you know, grab some tea and crumpets and all of that. And, you know, if you're working, keep working. And if you are driving, keep driving. And everyone be safe and get home. And make sure you don't ruin your family's Christmas. That's very important. Anyways, guys, I'm the Incredible Sulk. This is the Sulk stream. And this is called,
What have they gotten?
The BBC has been lying to you for 50 years. Here's why. Obviously. That's just, it's very clear. Enjoy.
Common. Both classic British institutions. Check. Both run and controlled by the establishment. Check. Both known for operating in the shadows.
MI5? Is it run by MI5? I know, it's not the CIA because that's over here. The CNN is run by the CIA. And so is Fox News. All of them. MSNBC. They're all closely related. Anderson Cooper is former CIA. You can look this up.
While claiming to serve the public. Also check. But there's one more connection. One that changes everything we know about how truth and power operate within one of the most
Big B says, howdy, Sulkapaths. See? He did it. It is a thing. I did make it a thing. It's a thing now. I told you. Who did I tell? I think I told Rick. If Rick gets here, when Rick gets here, just fucking tell him. I did it.
influential institutions in the world. And
yes, Mission Impossible 5. That's what I mean when I say MI5. That's exactly what I mean when I say MI5.
It starts with a book.
It's Tom Cruise pulling the strings of BBC.
Probably heard.
He's actually pulling BBCs, though. He's pulling big black cocks because he's Tom Cruise. He's got to be gay. Come on.
In George Orwell's 1984, there's a massive government building called the Ministry of Truth. This is where they rewrite history.
Don't we have one of those in the United States? Don't we have like a Ministry of Truth or something like that? Wasn't that... I don't know what it's called, but I remember vaguely hearing something like that.
Facts get erased and replaced, where war is peace and truth doesn't exist anymore. Orwell based it on a real place, his workplace during World War II, where he spent years creating propaganda broadcasts. We made a video about it.
I could do that. I should start making propaganda. I would pitch some, but I don't know. Brush your teeth. Yeah, brush your teeth. That's what I'm going to do. I'm working for Big Dentist. And that's actually true. You don't need to brush your teeth, ever. I don't.
How 1984 was a warning about the future. It's a cautionary...
I just suck all the food bits out before I go on the show.
tale about what totalitarianism could become.
If I forget what I had to eat that day, I'm like, prime rib.
But recent events have shown me that Orwell might not have been warning us about the future at all.
Big B says, is it any good? I've only seen the first. I've only seen the first Mission Impossible. I've seen one Mission Impossible. I have seen one Fast and the Furious. I have seen one... I don't know. Other movies? Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to make that many movies.
A man just stood before
Home Alones, though, I've seen all of them, the quintilogy, whatever. There's like 5 of them. Seen them all.
his staff to resign. His organization had been
The last 3 suck pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie to you.
caught red-handed manipulating reality.
The first 2 are fire, right? The first 2 Home Alones, Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2, especially Home Alone 2 is fire. Bangers.
It was the last incident in a conveyor belt of controversies that have been rolling off their production line for decades. And in his resignation speech, he said something that sounded like it came straight out of 1984. Quote, "This narrative will not just be given by our enemies, it's our narrative. Not the narrative, not the truth, their story. Stories designed..."
Sure, the people who make the truth, also the people who make history. Do you believe a lot of the history that you were taught in school? Because I don't. Sure, I'm sure it's based on like rough interpretations, but like, I don't believe a lot of it. I'm just like, okay, how could you possibly know that? Just because some other guy told you, and some other guy told him probably. And then you have people like looking into it, and then they're like, yeah, historians agree. I don't care. Have you ever watched the History Channel? It's garbage. It's hot garbage, right? Now they have like pawn shops and like forging blades and stuff like that, like game shows. It's weird. But it used to be about World War II. And yeah, the History Channel used to be exclusively about World War II. And just how it was just World War II. It was the entire... And now it's aliens and shit. Aliens that make pyramids and a guy with long hair and then swords and then pawn shops. I don't know how they call themselves a History Channel.
To sway the public consciousness, your consciousness to meet their objectives. His name is Tim Davey.
Ardenshire says, as a rule, all history is a made-up lie. Ardenshire, aren't you in like Budapest right now?
That institution is the BBC,
Are you in
and the building Orwell based the Ministry of Truth on is the Broadcasting House, their HQ. So what exactly did Orwell witness there that gave him his ideas? And why does it reveal so much about...
They've ruined the Science Channel too? No. You guys know the Learning Channel, TLC? It's all fat people now. And it's never been better, honestly. It's fat people and midgets, and it's hilarious. It's the Sideshow Channel. Right? You know, like those old circuses where they used to have like, come in for a nickel and you get to see our freaks and stuff. And it'd be like the world's fattest man. And he's only like 290 pounds. And like the girl midget and stuff like that. And she's got big gazongas or something like that. The bearded lady who's just a dude, just like today. Stuff like... Now that's on the History Channel. I mean TLC. That's on TLC. Except for they blew it way out of proportion. Now the fattest people are like 1,000 pounds, right? Struggling to breathe. Blood type gravy. It's dying as we speak, right? They can't even shoot long episodes of that because they die. They just die.
What's going on in the Ministry of Truth? I mean, the BBC. It's just those 2 words, our narrative.
Big B says, I've watched a bunch of documentaries on History Channel. I assume not to take it as a fact. Yeah, I wouldn't take that. I would take it with an enormous grain of salt. Yeah. No. You know that it has to be at least heavily... redone. Let's say redacted, and because they're trying to like erase history around cities. They're tearing down statues and like melting them and stuff and like that, and putting up other statues of like a gold Queen Latifah in the middle of New York. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Don't put your kids in school. Don't put your kids in public school. Private school is a different issue, but remember, private school mandates still do come from federal government.
narrative that revealed everything. But first, you need to see what forced Davey out.
Christian's going hard into the history.
1 week before the 2024 US election, the BBC's flagship investigative documentary Panorama aired footage of Trump's January 6th speech. In their edit,
Despite says, I've said that to my wife so many times, TLC is run by demons preying on losers and freaks. That's what I'm doing here. Burn on you guys. Burn. Or these people, or whatever. But burn.
he appears to say
Burn.
this.
We're gonna walk down
They thought.
to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not gonna have a country anymore.
It looks damning, like he's directly calling for violence at the Capitol. Except those sentences were spaced 54 minutes apart in the actual speech. The BBC spliced them together, manufacturing a quote that never existed. Then, as many of you probably know, someone inside the BBC's own editorial standard
Well, that's shocking. That's absolutely shocking. Or not at all shocking. Or absolutely predictable. Of course, it's not about history or the truth. It's the truth that they want to tell. It's the truth that they think you need to hear. The truth that they want you to know. Right? This is why you can't trust any of that shit. You can't trust anything on CNN, NBC, BBC, all those things. Nobody watches them. This is why the ratings are tanking, too. Thought says people go to their docs all the time with heart failure, diabetes complications, COPD, OSA, I don't know what that is, skin problems, etc. They never want to hear the truth, which is that it's because they are fat. They know they're fat. They know that there's people who walk into doctor's offices and tell the doctor, look, I don't want to talk about my weight in any way. All right. Now what's wrong with me? And the doctor is just like, well, you're fucking fat, dude. What do you want me to say? I'm a doctor. Yeah, you can't walk in here with AIDS and be like, listen, I don't want to hear about my gay lifestyle at all. I don't think that's the problem, and I really enjoy it. What is wrong with me? You take cocks in the ass. I'm sorry. What do you want? I'm a doctor. I'm a scientist, okay? And the science tells me that you're getting jizzed in. It's right there. It's like there's a diagram. Who did that? I didn't do that.
This team noticed it and added this to an internal memo. When that leaked
Just a cliff note that says gay. Dying of AIDS, gay.
in early November 2024, everything blew up in their face. The story took the top slot in the 6 o'clock news. Trump's been threatening.
Arden Chair says my favorite is the BBC announcing the fall of building number 7 30 minutes before it actually happened. And it was in the background. It was in the background, right? Maybe that was a green screen that... No, it wasn't, though. It was not a green screen. It was in the background. Building number 7 was there before it fell. And they're like, we've just received word that building number 7 has fallen. Oh, wait. Not yet. They have not blown it up yet. Oh, wait. We weren't supposed to say we blew it up.
a $1 billion lawsuit.
It will fall, and in 30 minutes we will come to you with breaking news that we already know about.
And Davey finally resigned.
What kind of clowns do you have running that operation? Come on. Come on. It's not like it was a misreport. Oh, we thought it had fallen, and it just happened to fall 30 minutes later, because there's other buildings. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You didn't say 3, 4, or 5, which did not collapse. You said 7. Didn't mention 6 either. You said 7. So if it was a mistake, a reporting order error, that was just amazingly lucky. For a building that was not hit by a plane or on fire or damaged in any way, quite far from the actual incident itself. And you're all like, yeah, that one's going to go down. That one did go down. That one's going to go down.
Signed along with the head of news.
Yes.
Sorry, my watch is a little fast. I thought we were supposed to report it at this time. We had a meeting the day before. And they're like, okay, report it when it goes down. A meeting? Oh, yeah, you're not supposed to know about that, though.
Tim Davie, I think this, in many ways, has been a long time coming. He's had an incredibly difficult year where he has managed to sort of...
Dan Snott says Building 7 never existed. Building 7 needs more 9/11s. Despite this, all 3 towers were holograms. Okay. Honestly, those 3 are more believable. Those 3 are more believable than building number 7 was an actually building that just died of fright one day, right? It saw its brothers collapse, and it's all like, I'm going to jump off the bridge too, and just... That's not how it works. It's not, buildings don't just decide to fucking crumble for no reason.
Dodge his way out of quite a few sort of issues that have come to light.
We're used to all of this excessive misinformation, right? But come on, this is the BBC, the world's most trusted broadcaster, an institution.
Thought says the racial makeup of the UK is now less than 80% white. It was 97% in the 70s. I mean, I bet it was really nice in like the 60s and the 70s, but now it's not nice. I haven't been to London since 2000 and... No, I was there in 2018. But I was just in the airport. I didn't leave the airport. But last time I was actually there was like 2013, something like that. And it was a little rough. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of Jamaicans.
Has been waging war on exactly this kind of thing. They ran a fact-checking team called BBC Verify, where they quote fact-check information, verify video, counter disinformation, and analyze data to separate fact from fake, and to bring clarity on complex issues.
Clarity.
Check out how they market it.
What does that mean?
We'll be watching.
What is clarity on complex issues? You're not just reporting the facts. You're providing clarity. You're actually telling you. Oh, to clear this up, Building 7 will collapse. We just don't know it yet. Back to you, Ron. Back to you. I'm getting word. I'm fired. And I will be dead tonight. What? What?
We'll be ready. Because it's the pursuit of truth that gives us our core.
I will be jumping off my high-rise apartment building. Huh? Wait, what?
The fight for truth is on.
That is the context for the BBC's insanely ironic error. And I've got to say, it's really disappointing. Obviously, it's part of being British to be tuned into the BBC. You literally grow...
Despite says there's a town in the UK that just banned Christmas wreaths. Oh, but like, ooh, I gotta be real careful about what I say here. I have to be very careful about what I say here. But it's not a secret, right? It's not a secret. Okay. But Christmas parades, stabbing kids on fucking playgrounds, and a certain kind of forced sexual gang activity is not illegal. But Christmas wreaths are culturally insensitive for a bunch of refugees who constantly talk about how great their own country is, but came to your country to apparently commit vile crimes. We want to be sensitive to them? Okay. All right. That country is... I can't imagine the UK is going to continue doing this for much longer. 5 years tops before... people are just going to fucking start fighting back, I would assume. But they're British. I don't know. Do you have spines? You don't have guns. And you're not even allowed sharp knives. God, what is it, running a kindergarten over there? Do something. Do something. You spent centuries bombing the Irish. Burning down crops in their fields and shit like that. You conquered like half the world. Do something.
Grew up watching the BBC on the kids' TV channels called CBeebies and CBBC. If you're English...
Besides just bend over a log and take it from Muhammad.
This is a constant rotation that you'll be familiar with. It's breakfast news first thing, then at lunch, then at 6 o'clock. It's TV shows like Pointless, documentaries by David Attenborough, and prime dramas like Doctor Who. And if you walk into any British household around 6 o'clock, you can guarantee the BBC News will be on.
Big B says, that's nice they gave you notice. Skated that one real nice, John. Okay, I'm probably going to get banned for this episode, but I don't care. Honestly, I've gotten away with some shit on YouTube. I've gotten away with some shit. I don't know. Maybe they really relaxed the policy or something like that. But a lot of things I've said on YouTube, I'm like, I shouldn't have said that.
And there's just something still quintessentially British about the delivery of it too, like we heard with the announcement of the Queen's death.
Thought says, I wish all liberals from the U.S. would seek asylum in Europe. They would, but they would come right back. Remember fucking Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi? They went to like Cotswold in England. They're all like, oh, we're going to England now because we don't want to be a part of Trump's racist America and stuff like that. And then they went to Cotswold and they're all like, it's really cold here. We're going to go back to L.A. Yeah.
A few moments ago, Buckingham Palace
Sure, it's cold. You know, fucking, it's cold, right?
announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
It's the kind you'd expect if nuclear war broke out and we're about to be vaporized or something. It's kind of strangely comforting. And this...
Art and Shara says, don't capitulate, John. Self-censoring is gay. I'm with you, bro. But, like, I still say my points. I just have to be very careful about certain words. And so it is annoying, right? It's like dealing with a Rubik's Cube. How do I communicate this both offensively and not offensively enough to where I'm going to get banned, right? So I have to say F slur. So in your head, you know exactly what I'm trying to say, right? We have Muslim forced sex grooming gangs. And that one is really, that's borderline. That's really borderline. I think that one might be against the rules. But, you know, whatever.
is exactly the kind of broadcast...
I am still saying the things I mean to say, but very carefully, right? Very carefully. It doesn't matter.
That once earned the BBC...
Whatever. If I get an episode of from YouTube pulled, it doesn't really affect me. I don't care that much because the numbers over there are meh. They're growing, they're getting better, but they're still meh.
Its incredible reputation, which honestly makes all the manipulation tactics they've been using all along hit even harder, because they wormed their way into our hearts and minds ever since we were born in England.
Christian, do I? Do I? Interesting.
It doesn't even matter if you sympathize with Trump or not. Most would agree that the BBC, an institution that built its reputation on trust, shouldn't go around manipulating footage in a truth-seeking documentary. But this isn't really about one politician or one scandal or just one side of politics. It's no open and shut case of political bias, and that's what makes this so deeply intriguing. But before we continue, I want to show you something that's really...
Critical Thought says, yeah, they can't go to Africa because even Africa has stronger borders than the... Look, if you try to go to the UK and you're white, it's very difficult to get in. If you're a white person going to the UK, they're going to demand a bunch of shit from you, right? But if you claim you're a refugee seeking asylum and you're the right skin tone and you look like you're going to fuck some shit up, you're carrying a machete and stuff like that, you look like you have an IQ of 70, which would be generous, honestly. Come right in, right? You poor, forgotten soul. Please, help yourself to our women and all our progress and our beautiful glistening cities that it took generations to build. Go ahead and burn them down. We're not using them or taking care of them properly.
Really useful for making sense of stories like this one. To avoid bias like the BBC, go to ground.news/moon to get 40% off unlimited access this month.
Now,
as it surfaces, something just felt off. When the footage leaked, they had 3 clear options. Option 1, they could launch a real investigation. Find out how...
Nah, they're not going to investigate anything. They get all the information that they need to... Look, here's the thing about being a journalist. If you're good at your job, you're going to die. You're going to die, or you're going to be banished to Russia for the rest of your life. If you're a good journalist and you're actually doing like the real news and like trying to get the bottom of the things and like expose secret cartels or conspiracy theories or something like that, your car will explode. You're going to jump off of your balcony. You're going to have a mysterious heart attack. This is why journalism is dead. It is a dead... And this is why everyone hates journalists now, because they don't really exist, right? Journalists now either work for these large corporations where they just read teleprompters, or they're on like X or something like that, where they're written off as conspiracy theorists. So, and they don't get paid, right? You're going to get shadow banned and stuff. So, yeah, controlling the narrative is everything. Controlling the flow of information is everything. It is the main weapon that these people have.
How deep this manipulation goes. Bring in external oversight. Show
Thought says death is a sign you're a good journalist. LOL checks out. Of course. If you're a really good journalist, you're going to die.
accountability to the world that relies on them for truth and objectivity. That's 500 million people at least around the world. Option 2, they could deny everything. Stonewall like they've done countless times before.
Christian says, remember, white people, we will have nowhere to run to. That's the worst. That is the worst thing. It's not about running. You can't run anywhere. You're going to be backed into a corner, and that's when people will get violent. When they feel that they are absolutely cornered. You know what? You ever try to like corner a cat or something like that? It's fun. I do it on my days off. I corner them, and I get real threatening and big and stuff. And then that's when they're going to fuck you up. A cat doesn't seem that threatening, but if it's scared of you, it will fuck your shit up. The same thing's going to happen, and this has kind of been a running theme in history.
Weather the storm, stick other news on rotation, and wait for everyone to move on. Option 3, or they could do the classic move. Issue a limited apology, blame it on editorial mistakes, and pretend...
Big B says 1 out of 10 of UK's new neighbors don't work. They suck on the government's teat. I don't see how that can last. 1 in 10 is only 1 in 10 work. Only one. No, like I think it's something like 40 or 50% live on government handouts, and I think that's even kind of low. I would assume 90%. Probably higher, don't do anything, and they make huge amounts of money off of taxpayer benefits.
They're making progress behind the scenes. The BBC...
It's funding an invasion from the inside. That's what's it's the UK government funding an invasion against their own people. That's... Look at it however you want. If you want to be like, these poor refugees, please come in and just do shit where you want. Go ahead and just poop places. Dump your trash into the Thames. Why not? Yeah, because they're poor, forgotten refugees. If you want to look at it like that, I think you're goddamn retarded. And there's no hope for you. But the rest of the UK is getting pretty tired of it, just like America is. And look, America has a lot more tolerance. It's a much bigger country. We've had undesirables in the country for hundreds of years. So we've kind of created communities and stuff like that. Now they're trying to smash those communities in every way possible. It's a lot tougher in America to do instead of like the UK. The UK, it's easy because you could just be like, well, you can't be armed in any way. We're not going to let you be armed in any way. No axes, no knives, no nothing. Meanwhile, all the invaders get to have axes and knives and guns and stuff like that, and it's not really seen as a big deal. But in America, we have guns. We all have guns. And maybe like a third of us have guns. But everyone who has guns has more than one. But some people have like 20 or 30. I have a number.
He chose none of these options. Sure, that 2 highest profile figures resigned, but Davey was insistent.
Caucasians only make up about 10% of the world's population, says Pops. I think it's lower than that. I think it's like 5 to 8%. I think it's like it's pretty low, right? So to invite, all these refugees into these specifically white countries, like why does Ireland need to be overrun by Africans? Why does it need to be overrun by Central Africans? It doesn't. And when like the Dutch went to South Africa, they're all like, nope, you can't do that. There used to be Rhodesia and like South Africa and Haiti. Haiti used to be run by white people. And like once you get rid of that, it becomes terrible. It becomes a terrible, terrible place. It's a terrible, sad place. It's sad.
That the BBC has no institutional bias whatsoever. While mistakes have been made, he said, I want to be...
Strawberry says that's true. I don't think I know anyone that owns a single gun. Are you in England, Strawberry? Are you in English? Are you an English person? Did I know that? Cookies English. Are you English too?
Absolutely clear. Recent allegations that BBC News is institutionally biased are wrong. He quit, but it was just a self-sacrifice rather than...
I'll tell you what, Strawberry. Go online and you can easily look up plans to make a sheet metal grease gun in your garage. It's super simple and like bingo bango, you are armed.
Anything introspective about the BBC's conduct. Pretty much just some vague hand-waving about mistakes.
She says no, like only one gun, not multiple. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't know anybody who owns one gun. I don't know anybody... Like, if you have guns, you don't have a gun. You have multiple guns. Pop's, he's got a bunch. I've got a nice collection. But, like, you're going to have... No one's got one gun. Like, go get the gun. No. She's going to be like, well, what do you want? You want the 30-06? You want the 22? You want the AK-47? Like, there's a lot of options and stuff. I'll be like, dealer's choice. You know? Time is a factor here.
Minimizing the deeper existential questions everyone has about the corporation. And you have to wonder where this protective instinct even comes from. The blatant self-sacrifice, the well-drilled strategy of sweeping everything under the carpet and moving on in the blink of an eye. It's a classic BBC-style limited hangout. When I started digging into this, I found something buried in newspaper archives from the 1980s, and that started to answer these questions, which drew me deeper into...
Thought says, yeah, what pisses me off beyond belief is the arrogance of Indians when you can't pronounce their names. Banga Jama Mada Malala Banga Bugapti. Apu Nahasapima Pedalon. You could have gone Nahasapima Pedalon, and I would have nailed that.
To Orwell's world, and what inspired him to write...
And that's the only thing that pisses you off about Indians? The main thing about Indians is the absolute god-awful scent that comes off their body. And, like, I don't know why you think that's not extremely rude to come out in public like that. I was sitting in an airport. I was eating a sandwich, right? I was coming back from Vegas. I was eating a sandwich, right? And this Indian guy comes and sits next to me. And I was all like, this man has ruined my sandwich. He has ruined my sandwich with his stinky body odor. His stinky Indian body odor. God, it's really, really bad. I took an Uber one time. And I was like, okay, I'll save some money and do a carpool Uber, right? It's not that, whatever. And then an Indian guy gets in. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. You smell like dirt shit. Like, why do you... Why?
1984 in the BBC's image. The
you're
year
so
is,
stinky.
coincidentally, 1985, and whistleblowers from within the corporation approached a newspaper called The Observer. They'd watched something concerning happen over and over again and kept their heads down, but finally decided someone outside needed to know. They brought cases, names, decades worth of evidence pointing to something that had been operating inside Broadcasting House since the 1930s. When the journalists walked in and confronted the BBC's director of personnel with what they had, he wouldn't discuss it and just said that
JD, how you doing, JD? He says your English god is here, bruv. Okay. Okay.
the whole area was confidential, so they published anyway. The shock story revealed Emma...
Oh, I was gonna I fucking... Dude, I hit the reminder on that stream too because I wanted to watch you guys. I wanted to watch you and Ray Ray with Forest Mommy, but for some reason... Did I even get that notification? Because I saw it and I was all like, oh, cool. And then I was gonna watch it, but I didn't. Sorry.
MI5, British intelligence,
I
had
did mean to. I honestly did mean to watch that.
been vetting every BBC employee since the 1930s. The BBC denied it outright, calling it a conspiracy theory. But when the evidence proved too solid to dismiss, they changed their story. Fine, yes, there was some limited screening for sensitive positions, national security reasons, nothing to worry about. That was a lie too. The truth
Yeah, national security. So we hired Jeet. Oh, I can't say Jeet. I can't say. Okay, Raj Nihima Pedalon, well, an Indian guy. In India, we have top secret. We have top secret information running through here. Better bring in that foreign national and all his stinky cousins to deal with it. They're smearing poop on the mirrors in the bathroom, drawing like cave paintings.
was that MI5
They do that. Like, what? Not the cave paintings. Well, maybe. But they hire, they give these positions to like Indians because it's complex reasoning. And it's not because they're smart, because they're not smart.
had been
They're
vetting
not
every
smart.
single person who worked at the BBC for decades. There was an office specifically for this, Room 105, tucked away on the first floor of the broadcasting house. The door said Special Duties
James says, you're a busy man, bruv. I was just slagging off Muslims and flirting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what I expected it to be, but I still wanted to see it.
Management. Inside sat a
So-
former army intelligence officer whose entire job was liaising with MI5, sending every applicant's name to be run through a database containing 500,000 people flagged as subversives. What does that
The end tower came so close, guys. It was pretty good. You guys did a pretty good job. It was a close end tower. Almost.
even mean? Well,
So
communists
close.
and political dissidents,
So-
obviously, but also activists of all kinds. People who might be less likely to fall in line with the establishment. If MI5 didn't like you, if you had the wrong political views or the wrong friends, or had been to the wrong protests, they'd put a little mark on your personnel file. And
Yo. Have you guys ever thought, like, because we all have files, right? We all have an FBI agent. We all have files. And there's like a whole dossier behind us and stuff like that. Have you ever been like, I don't know what's in that. I don't know what's in that. I know all of you have one. Of course, all of you have one. And they know you watch this show. So you're probably getting like social credit points docked or something like that. Especially you, JD. You live in the land of anti-freedom.
an upward-facing arrow that looked like a Christmas tree. That was the code. You were blacklisted. You'd never get promoted. The BBC would keep you in place ineffective until you got the message and left. The BBC spent 50 years lying about this. Their official policy, according to leaked internal documents, was to, quote, keep heads down and stonewall all questions. It only fully came to light in 2018 when they finally
That's what a reporter does. Stonewall's questions. Keep things quiet. Yep. Classic. Very British broadcasting.
admitted
Very
it had
British.
continued until the 90s. Orwell worked in that building from 1941 to 43.
Ew. Pop says India has 1.5 billion people with 80 million toilets. America has 330 million people with 340 million toilets. Ew, 80 million toilets. 1.5 people with 80 million toilets. So a lot of them have never pooped in a toilet in their entire lives. A vast majority of Indians have never pooped in a toilet once. Through the entire birth to death cycle. Not once have they ever, and the entire time they've been eating Indian food. Just letting them, I don't even think they have a place for it. They just let it fly. That is nasty, dude.
Right when MI5 was setting up this system, deciding who could tell the news and who couldn't, did he see it? Is that what he was trying to warn us about? Because the filtering didn't stop in the 90s, it just evolved and became insidiously and quietly preferential. Consider that BBC executives are 5 times more likely to have attended private school than the general public. Most went to
Obviously, they're all like related. They're all related. It's all nepotism, right? Anderson Cooper, who's on CNN, he worked for the CIA while he was in college. But you know who he is? You know who he's related to? He's a Vanderbilt. He's a Vanderbilt. You don't know who the Vanderbilts are. They were one of the richest families in the country back in like the robber baron days. They made railroads and stuff. So, I mean, what are the chances? What are the chances of that happening?
Oxford or Cambridge, the exact pipeline that produces MPs, intelligence officers, high-profile business and financial professionals, and high-ranking civil servants. Mark Thompson, the former Director General, said in a confidential meeting...
This fight says, by that math, there's probably millions of them that have never seen a toilet in their entire life. Maybe on TV or something like that. And they're all like, what the hell is that thing? What's the deal with that white chair over there? What are they doing? They just watch people poop. Just fascinated. What's he doing with that paper? What? He's wiping back there? He's not just letting it crust over? Like me? Just crust over? And when it itches, I just pick it with my dirty Indian nails. And then I stir drinks with it.
2012, that he was disturbed
You just
by
pick it off like a scab.
the number of Oxbridge graduates working at the BBC. He went to Oxford himself,
Ew.
saw the problem, admitted it.
Sorry, I'm just pooping on. I'm picking at my poop scabs, but then I'll mix your delicious, refreshing drink with my finger, and then here you go. Here you go.
Was a problem, and then nothing changed. It actually just got worse. You don't need MI5 writing Christmas trees on files anymore. The system has absorbed those practices and now practically filters itself. You know, this is all about protecting the BBC and the British establishment, because the two are intrinsically linked, and I'll tell you exactly how it works. The corporation operates under something called a Royal Charter, basically the foundational document that gives it independence.
Christian says, and through the cycle of rebirth, they have never used a toilet in thousands of lifetimes, because they get reincarnated, right? They get and like, what do you have to do wrong in your life to be born an Indian? How did you fuck up so badly in your previous life that they're all like, you know what? You're never gonna see a toilet again, and you're gonna have constant stomach pains. You're always gonna have diarrhea and never a toilet in sight. You must have fucked up. You must have done something like burned down an orphanage or something like that. You must have been a bad person. And on top of that, you're insanely horny all the time. All the time. You are just bricked up constantly. Look, you guys have all seen Indians talk on the internet. You know what I'm saying is true. Constantly bricked up. Bobs and vagine constantly in your head. That's all you can think about, right? You can't even like build a latrine in your village because you're so fucking horny all the time. You're just sitting in your little tiki hut, like ramming it off. It sounds like hell. You're like, I have such bad diarrhea. Better rub one out right now with my sticky little poop fingers.
Independence from politicians while keeping it accountable.
My poop scabs are mixing. The poop scabs make it hurt, but I can't stop. Bobs.
To the public who fund it. Sounds very grand and British, right?
Yeah,
but
I don't care now.
It expires every decade and needs to be renewed. During charter review, Parliament decides whether
poop is lube, sure, but you miss the entire bit about how they let it crust on their ass and then pick it off with their fingernails. So now you're all caught up, knob.
the BBC should continue in its current form.
So when you have it like that, when it's all like crusty, like a scab, like a poop scab, that's why I said poop scab, and then you have that on your hands, all over your hands, it's a rough kind of sandpapery texture, right? And then you're not going to wash your hands because you never wash your hands to do anything. And so when you're just cranking one out, it's going to just make it pretty raw. Yep. This is the life of an Indian. This is the life of an Indian.
In theory, the government...
And you can't have a cheeseburger ever in your life. Put a bullet in me. Just kill me. There's enough of us. No one will ever miss me. Just put a bullet in me right now. No wonder they're jumping in front of trains all the time. I would too.
Could decide not to grant a new charter at all. effectively ending the BBC as a public corporation. So the BBC simply needs to be on the government's side at all times. Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher knew this in the 80s when she thought that the BBC was biased.
My dad has tiny balls, which is a interesting name. Says 80 grit sand poop. It's sand pooper. It's 80 grit sand pooper.
Against her, she used the charter renewal as leverage. She installed her supporters on the BBC board and forced through massive reforms. The BBC
Hogg says a Muslim told me all his goats were gay. No, you just make them do gay things, sir. Your goats aren't gay. You commonly penetrate their assholes. And like, why?
divides, but only by transforming itself
that?
completely. It's this mechanism
That seems unnecessary. Well, okay. I mean, I'm sure it's necessary for you because you have to punish the gay goat, right? You have to punish it for being gay. So you're going to cut its head off after you rape its ass.
explains why the BBC is so incredibly
This is not the type of conversation I was expecting to have about the BBC, but it tracks. It really does. JD, tell him it tracks, doesn't it?
fickle. They have evolved to turn on whoever opposes the establishment as
tracks.
the establishment protects them and vice versa. I mean, it's literally in their DNA. John Reith, the guy who founded the
My dad has tiny balls says, why would you say that about your dad, John? You got me.
BBC,
You
wrote
got me,
something
bro.
in his diary back in the 1920s
bro.
that straight up admits this. He said the government, quote, knows they can trust us not to be really impartial. Reith saying that from day
The government knows they can trust us not to be really impartial. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, the government knows you're going to lie on their behalf. Okay. So, see, this is the problem with having a single state-run news source. Look, I'm not saying American news is a whole lot better. It's not. It's run by the same people. It's run by the same organizations. It's all an elitist plot. But at least we have this rule that says we're not allowed to be jailed for things we say, right? And we have a second rule that says we're allowed to have guns in case people try to jail us for the things that we say. Those two, there's a reason why they're the first two. It's because they're pretty fucking solid, right? And if somebody wants to shut you up, put a gun in their mouth, right? You'd be like, no, I get to say what I want to say or I can kill you. So there. In England, it's just like you're subjects. You're not even citizens. You're subjects. You're all property. And not in the way that Americans are, because Americans are tax cattle. We're owned by people that farm us for our labor, right? That's the whole tax system. But in the UK, and by extension, Canada and Australia and shit like that, you're literally property. You are property. You can't even say what you want to say, or they'll put you in jail. You're property. If you act right, you're going to be fine. If they don't like the way you're acting, they have every right to kill you. There's really nothing stopping them. There's nothing stopping them. You're not allowed to own guns. Not even Australians are allowed to own guns. I mean, they have a couple, maybe, but really not. No.
Staying on the government's good side was baked into the whole strategy. Think about that, forming the world's most powerful broadcaster.
Knobstock says, do we have any Canadians in here? They know not to out themselves.
One that supposedly lives in
No, Canadians are fine. We have British people, and it's like, that is not better. I'll allow French people in the chat. If they want to, I'm not going to speak positively about French people ever in my life. But, they're allowed to be here. They're allowed to be here. If they want to pitch into the conversation and be respectful, which I know, French, but, they're allowed to do that. But they are French. But English, not much better. And Canadians are better, but not by much. But French Canadians are banned. No French Canadians. That's the one hard limit.
breathes truth
No-
on the
no
premise
French
it doesn't
Canadians.
really need to be impartial. Worse, it can be trusted not to be. And this isn't some hypothetical statement written in an old diary. You can see how the BBC repeatedly backed the establishment over and over again. They made a documentary about the ongoing conflict in Northern Ireland, which was tearing the country apart at the time. The government applied pressure. The BBC governors withdrew it before it could air and banned some figures from appearing on the news. The documentary was eventually broadcast, but was censored to keep the government happy. A couple years
Tyrone says I have a switch for home defense they can take from my cold dead hands. And I want to know if that's like a switch like a tree branch or a switch like a Glock switch. I'm going to assume it's a Glock switch and you're not like just whipping people's asses, which would be also like, get over here. Go get me a switch, boy. That's very Southern. That's very Southern.
Later, the BBC commissioned 6 investigative films exposing all kinds of government secrets, covert satellite programs, preparations for nuclear war, incompetent defense contractors. It would have been groundbreaking. The government didn't want the heat from the public, so the BBC...
Knobstock says the French people we met around the country were actually really nice when we were there. When you were in France? Because French people fucking suck, dude. Like, no, I'm not gonna say like every one of them, because I have met cool French people, but like they're just fucking, they kind of fucking suck. I have met French people I liked, but like a lot of them fucking suck, dude.
BBC just scrapped them. Then, to try to
They
turn
do.
people against the protesters in the mining strike, the most violent civil protest in modern British history, they edited images to make it look like the protesters attacked the police, when it was actually the police who charged at them. This served the government when they desperately needed public opinion on their side. There were multiple calls for a proper apology, but the BBC didn't have the backbone to do it. So let's reflect on all of this for a second. This is the world's premier objective news outlet. None of this is even remotely acceptable. If any of that happened in, say, Russia, China, the US, anywhere, they'd call it propaganda. And trust me, we haven't even got to the most shocking example yet. One that shows you exactly what this system does when someone threatens the establishment from within the BBC. In 2003, the UK government was pushing hard for war with Iraq, claiming Saddam Hussein had weapons that could be deployed within 45 minutes. The BBC ran a story.
Okay. That never came about, didn't it, right? That was a whole thing, that those never existed, or like they didn't find them, which is like, I mean, like if they couldn't find them, they probably didn't exist.
Saying the government was exaggerating the intelligence. Their source was David Kelly, a weapons expert who'd been to Iraq and knew what he was talking about. The government went berserk, demanding to know who leaked the information, and someone gave up Kelly's name. Suddenly, this
Greece was gay way before France. I've been to Greece too. Didn't have any problems in Greece. It's a little ghetto though.
quiet scientist was dragged before parliamentary committees. He was then questioned aggressively and his reputation was torn apart on national television. Friends said he looked terrible, exhausted.
Ben says French women don't shave their pits. I hear that a lot. And I'm like, who cares? Women are women. They'll do what you tell them to do. It's not, oh, they don't shave their pits and stuff. Make them do that then. They will like the things you tell them to like. All right? Just, wait, she's never going to shave her pits? No. Yes, she will shave the things I tell her to shave.
Stressed beyond anything they'd seen. Days after his brutal questioning, Kelly left his house for a
come
walk.
on.
He told his wife he'd be back soon. He never came back. They found him dead the next day.
John likes hairy pits? I don't. I really do not.
Verdict self-inflicted. A quote-unquote textbook case at the newspapers. Strange thing was, Kelly's fingerprints weren't on the alleged weapon used or the tablet box.
Pop says gypsies. And are you referring to Greece? Because there's tons of gypsies everywhere. There's gypsies in Italy. There's gypsies in France. There's gypsies everywhere. And I really dislike gypsies. I hate gypsies. Yeah, they do make things terrible. They make places terrible. And they're terrible people. But thank God they don't have access to, like, electricity and stuff. Do they? Have they gotten that far?
A group of doctors later petitioned that the government should reopen the case, claiming that the medical and circumstantial facts didn't add up. Lawyers rejected the appeal. The BBC
Nom says, "Hey Jess, watch. I'll get Jess in here and I'll make her shave her eyebrow. I can do that. Jess, hon, she's probably working on something.
ultimately blamed itself and apologized to the government for allowing the
But she will have a shaved eyebrow.
story to develop.
Honey, shave your eyebrow for me. No. No. Okay, we'll talk about it.
They fell on their own sword, in other words, to protect the interests of the mysterious
No what? No what?
I can't do that.
You can't shave your eyebrow?
Can I get another banana for you to cut with the sword?
No, your dad was upset about that.
He was?
He was like, "Don't do that."
Did you told him?
Yeah, I told him, like, that's a razor sharp sword. I could have cut your finger off.
You did a great job.
I am adept with a blade. What? Why are you wincing? Why are you wincing?
That made my stomach hurt.
It's true. It's true. Runs in my blood. It's the gladiator thing. You know. Yeah.
higher-ups. And this is what the system does. The filtering
See, he says no, Jessica cannot do that.
Using my full name.
keeps out people
What, the banana thing or the eyebrow? Can I get her to shave her eyebrow?
who might challenge authority. The Royal Charter keeps the BBC compliant, and when someone like
Daughter.
What?
He doesn't want an ugly daughter.
I know. It's one eyebrow. It's one eyebrow. You can paint it on.
It doesn't look the same. Okay, listen. One time, when okay,
Honey, here's
let me tell my story. Okay, my eyebrows are naturally thick. When thick eyebrows started coming back into like trend, I was so
Vogue.
I was so happy because it's so hard to keep my eyebrows thin because they're thick bitches. Mm-hmm. And I went to go get my eyebrows done. The lady made them so fucking thin that I didn't pay. I was like
Like a chonga.
I was like, yeah, I was like, and I'm not like that type of person. Like, if you fuck up a little bit, I'll still pay you. But she fucked up so bad, I was like, I'm not paying you for this. This is ridiculous. Like, come on. Like, it's crazy. I had to draw my eyebrows on for, like, a couple months. It was retarded. It looked so bad. I won't do it.
You shave one.
No.
You shave one. Honey, get back here. You shave one and then draw it on like The Rock. So it's way up here. So you constantly have this, like, do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
So ridiculous.
Like, constantly you're like,
No,
one eyebrow raise.
I'll have a new eyebrow.
I can't even do it.
Like a
The one eyebrow raise. So you're constantly suspicious. So, like, if somebody's going to hand you change at a store, you're going to be like, thank you. What? That's proper change. I'm not trying to rip you off, lady. I didn't think you were. I'm sorry. I'm killing myself.
What if I just walked out and then I came back with one eyebrow? What would you do?
I would applaud your dedication to the craft. Do it. Do it. Okay.
I'm not doing it. I'm fucking with you. I'm not doing it.
Coward. She's a coward.
No, I'm too vain.
Yeah. Anyways, go bake something. Go. Get out of here.
and Kelly slips through anyway, they get destroyed. And the
Christian
institution
said he would donate $5 if you shaved your eyebrow.
No, it has to be at least 500. I'll do it for 500.
$500.
I'll do it for 500.
$500.
It'll grow back. But
$500. She said she'll do it for $500. And I know you people are animals. Are you sure you want to take that? Because they'll do it.
500?
They'll do. Look, they'll do it, dude. They made me eat a gummy bear for $100.
I know, it should have been more.
It should have been more. And
You
like,
suffered.
I did, dude. I had the hot snakes. That was, despite trying to haggle. No, there's no haggling here, all right?
500 in this economy. Big B, just say you're poor.
It's just, no, it's not, no. We're not haggling. We're moving on. All right? She's not going to do it. She's chicken.
I would for 500.
For $500?
But I get that 500. That's my money.
No, get out. Get out. None of this money belongs to you.
Protects itself by sacrificing them. Compare that to how they treat their own. Jimmy Savile, decades of abuse, hundreds of victims, but the BBC protected him because he was valuable.
Oh, big shocker. Big fucking shocker. A media empire protecting a pedophile? I had no idea that ever happened.
Hugh Edwards, the guy to break the news about the Queen's death, kept getting paid after his arrest, with his salary increasing to £475,000, only to then plead guilty to accessing indecent images of children, all with barely a mention. Threat in the establishment, gone. Valuable to the institution, protected as long as possible. This is the machine Orwell saw. Not crude propaganda, but something subtler. A building full of people who genuinely believe they're serving the truth, who've absorbed this top-down worldview so much that anything threatening it feels dangerous, wrong, something that needs correcting. When they edited Trump's speech, they probably thought they were protecting their superior version of the truth.
Despite says, so John will ruin his butthole for $100, but just won't shave her eyebrow, it'll grow back. My butthole isn't ruined, all right? It just... I was gonna say it took a pounding, but whatever. You use that. I don't care. I'm gay. There.
When they come up with biased
Whatever.
garbage, when they protected Savile and Edwards,
You think I fucking care?
they thought they were protecting something more important. When they threw Kelly under the bus, they thought they were protecting credibility. So it's this
I'm not
combination
proving
of
it to you,
thousands of
despite.
small
I'm sorry.
choices that just compound over time. Which stories get covered and which don't? Who gets brought on for news? Who gets brought on for interviews? And whose perspective never makes it to air? What context gets included and what gets left out? Our
not gonna do
narrative,
that. I'm
Davey
not
said,
gonna
and he meant it. Their narrative is the truth. Everything else is noise. The minute
It's like people just do stuff for money? Yeah. What do you think I'm going to do it not for money? You think Frozen eats those delicious piles of poop that he eats for not money? Just for the kicks and... No, he does it for money, yo.
Always busy in the shadows, shaping reality.
He does that for money.
See, this is why the BBC will survive this whole blowback from Trump. Institutions like this don't die, they just shamble forward. Increasingly irrelevant, but too embedded and important to disappear. There will be inquiries that just go...
Forever Alone says, yes, clip it. Yes, please clip it. No, it can't be done because Ardenshire is in Budapest right now. And so these episodes, while he's gone for the next 2 weeks, they stay between us. So sorry, guys. Yeah, sorry about, I get my asshole pounded on the nightly. Never hearing that again. Nope. That's not...
where things will get quiet and...
Unless somebody else has the technology to screen cap.
Just keep on collecting license fees. Yes, in England they...
But what are the chances of that happening? Come on. You guys are retarded.
Still legally force you to pay to watch the BBC. Literally going around people's houses when they don't. But the downfall of these monolithic institutions has left us in a different, messier place with the news.
He's on vacation. He deserves a vacation. God damn it, he said clipped. Ardenshire, go enjoy your vacation. Go.
Government, media,
academia. Go be with your wife and enjoy a romantic dinner out or something like that. Don't...
medicine, scientific...
Don't clip my gay quotes. Don't. Kristen says, I'll clip it, guys. Give me time.
Institutions, all collapsing...
I like how this is the teamwork. You guys okay, we need to work as a team now. Honestly, I'm kind of proud of you guys. Because you're actually working as a cult now. And it's not to benefit me in any way, which is... that's disappointing, but I'm glad you guys are finally working together. I appreciate that.
Simultaneously,
You guys are making
people don't
good
believe
cult
their
members.
doctors, their teachers, their elected
To each
officials,
other.
their news sources. Nothing
It's
has
a brotherhood,
authority anymore.
you know?
Your friend got his news from some guy on YouTube.
I say brotherhood because women have a lower place in the cult.
Mum's sharing stuff on Facebook. Nobody agrees what's even true anymore. It's all just fractured, chaotic, and exhausting. This is a society losing its belief in a shared truth. This is what the BBC really...
But they know. Strawberry knows. Thought knows. They all know. All the girls. Where are the other girls? They're around here. They're around here.
gave us a disturbing society created by corrupted networks and their controlling elites. Orwell sat in that building.
Renee's?
He watched
Where's
how it
Renee's?
worked and wrote it all down in the most famous exploration of truth and power ever written. 1984, a story that just keeps telling itself over and over every single day. Ironically, outside Broadcasting House today, you'll find a statue of him watching over the Ministry of Truth. The statue's inscription reads, "If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear." A darkly comical reminder standing guard over the place he warned us all about. But if you want to see our deeper...
Boy, that is ironic. That is intensely ironic. That is ironic.
50-minute video on the topic of 1984.
That's chillingly ironic. Wow. Okay. I guess we can talk about rent. You guys want to talk about rent?
Anybody else notice all these apartment
That's over. It was not long enough.
complexes they're putting up are charging an obscene amount of rent, and you're just kind of like, who are they renting to?
Do you guys, what do you guys pay for rent?
For sure.
Like I saw this one that a one-bedroom apartment was $1,600 a month.
Where? $1,600 a month doesn't sound all that bad, honestly. Because where?
All right, we're talking about the crazy rental crisis that's going on. It's amazing how bad it's gotten. Housing in America is, one, unaffordable and still going up. We haven't seen a major correction. Are we going to see a major correction? I want to know your thoughts. Comments down below. We're going to talk about...
Dan Stott says, I pay nothing, I own my home. Okay, that's great. That's great. So don't fucking say anything then.
About this as a real estate agent.
If you pay rent, what do you pay for rent? All right? I don't want to hear mortgages. I don't want to be like, I own my house. Congratulations. But what do you pay for rent?
As somebody that deals with property all day long, I'm going to give you my thoughts on all of these. Let's go.
Now, one-bedroom apartments for like...
Thought says $1,602K for a one-bedroom is the norm in Tampa right now. That sounds about right. Yeah.
young kids in their 20s. At least they're supposed to be. And...
Forever Alone says $1,000 for a single bedroom before I moved back home. That doesn't sound that bad. $1,000 for a single bedroom? That doesn't sound terribly bad. Zach says $1,650 for a one bed. Tejas says, what is rent?
What young kid in their 20s is making over $4,500 a month to where they could even afford that apartment? Because you have to
dog, do you ever fucking listen to me? Do you ever fucking listen to me?
make
God.
3 times the rent to even get approved for it.
You know, the 3 times the rent is going to get worse because maintenance is going up. Tenant law is getting to where...
Maintenance is insane, dude. Like owning a house is expensive. Like things break. You have to fix stuff, pipes and electrical and, tree work and shit like that, plumbing, all that. It's expensive owning a house, right? And, if you want to do anything with your house, you have to, pull permits, and, that's a pain in the ass. You have a million permits to deal with, and those are expensive, too, and they take forever, and it's just yeah.
It's hard to get somebody out if they don't pay. And many of these municipalities has made it so hard to do the permitting and the legal work and the insurance and then the taxes.
Ben says it's about $1,400 for a 2-bedroom. Probably that's an apartment, and the illegals, homeless, and others all vie for no housing. So look, the illegals and they're all getting the rent paid by the government. Section 8 or some, immigrant payment or something like that. All that stuff is going there. Your tax dollars are paying for their rent. So that's probably part of the reason why it's driving up rent prices, because not only do you have to pay for their rent, you have to pay for your rent, which is also going up because you're paying for their rent.
Keep going up. Both insurance and taxes winds up getting...
Christian says, I blame the boomers. Parentheses. And then you're going to get the ADL on you.
put back on the tenant. And it's crazy that it happens
get
that
the
way,
ADL.
but every time those government officials go and hide in the back room and raise property taxes, rent has to go up too, or it'd just be unaffordable to own the property. And then nobody would have a place to live.
And the 3 bedrooms are going for like $2,500 plus. And I'm just like, who the hell can afford that? Like, I make way more money than your average American. But the idea of spending $2,500 a month.
What does the average American make? I would pitch a number, but I don't know if it's accurate. $80,000 per household. Is that roughly accurate? I don't know.
It's just astronomically insane to me. And yet, they're wondering why people aren't having kids.
For sure.
But my question is, why do they keep building these apartments?
Thought says, but it's not the boomers' fault. It's the millions of millennials who got useless college degrees about to default on their loans and push it to the taxpayers, all the people who don't pay their medical bills. Are you talking about taxes? And I think you missed the parentheses that he used. Are you talking about taxes? Because that's not rent.
When there's no way in hell they can rent these apartments out. Like, there's no way these apartments are at full capacity. It's not possible.
I bet it's under $64K for the average American household. $64,000. Ooh, that's poor. I'm sorry, that's not a lot of $64,000. If you have like a wife and 2 kids, like a family of 4, of $64,000 a year. That is not a lot of money.
So why are they doing it? There's no way they're making, like, I don't know, it's just astronomically insane.
They've already done the math on it. They know they can rent them.
AI says 63 to 66. How do people live on that? How do people live on that amount of money? That's a small amount of money. That's crazy. That's poverty.
Or they're going to make it up on all the amenities you pay a little extra for. It's all about increasing cash flow, packaging the properties up and selling them to a hedge fund or a large portfolio. And you just keep upping the rents. That's what they're trying to do. And they've done the math that they can.
My Richie Rich over here. Okay, $60,000 for a family of 4. $64,000 for a family of 4. How is that not fucking poor? How is it? You're spending? Okay, let me get the calculator out. 64. 3 divided by 12. It's $5,000 a month. You're spending half of that on rent. 40% goes to taxes, roughly. That's pretty fucking poor, dude. That's pretty fucking poor.
And if they can get them 90% occupied, they're probably going to be fine. You know, they've thought about this really hard. And it's crazy that we're talking about that. That's the life of a renter now, is barely making it and paying more and more every year as they up your rent.
I'm not fucking Saudi.
Rent is too damn high.
Saudi.
The cost of living is too damn high, and I don't understand how.
John, do you get regional cost of living? Yes, I understand that some parts of the country do. It is much cheaper, and Florida is expensive. It's expensive to live in Florida, but like it didn't used to be like that. But like, yeah, if you live in like Alabama or something like that, I'm sure it's much cheaper. That would be an acceptable, or like West Virginia would be fine, but like most people don't live there.
The government thinks that is sustainable for the American citizens. I am looking online at different places, houses, apartments, townhomes, everything to see what's out there. One, they want you to make 3 times the rent. Jobs are not paying 3 times the rent. I'm looking at different jobs that require at least a bachelor's degree, which I have, but they're at 52.
Who are they letting into college these days? Who are they with the hair thing and like I got a bachelor? You can barely say bachelors. Say the word ask. How are they letting these people into college and then graduate? Oh, right. Insane amounts of debt at 25% interest. And the colleges don't give a fuck, dude. They're getting rich off of this.
$50,000 a year.
And what's wild is I don't see it ending. I don't see it getting.
Ben says bachelor's degree in what? Child development.
Getting any better. You're just
Something
going to
like
see
that.
this constant
I don't
snowball.
know.
And at some point, people are just not going to be able to afford it. You've left the market. I tell you, I've been dealing well in my house. The permitting to get anything done, the government wants another $50, another $100, a reinspect.
Everybody wants more money. Yeah, everybody. That's a pain in the ass, right? You try to get anything done, and everyone's like, "Oh, here's a $100 fee. Here's a $200 fee. Here's a $200 fine because you didn't pay the $100 fee. Here's a $500 fee because we forgot to tell you that you owed us $100 3 months ago."
This plan or that environmental study or this or that. Just
it's a fucking racket, dude. It's an absolute racket.
Just to fix a little something on your house. And they come out 5 or 6 times and they're always failing you for some little thing. And then I don't know where people are going to go. They can't live in their cars. The government will kick them out. You can't be homeless because they'll arrest you. Heck, there was
I think being homeless illegal in Florida? I hope it is. I hate the homeless. I have no sympathy for the homeless. I don't. I understand that some people have fallen on hard times. I understand that. But it's ruining my property value. And you're ugly to look at. So I would like you disappeared. Like disappeared as in pulled into a van and then never seen again.
The guy here in Pensacola was feeding the homeless and got arrested. So
well, of course. Why are you feeding the bears? Don't do that. You're going to attract more of them.
What's going to happen to those people? I want to know all your comments down below. We're in a very weird place to where if real estate buckles, so does the American economy. The only way for the government to get out of this funk in the economy is to keep printing money, making things more expensive.
Well, yeah, here's the thing about they're never going to not print money. They're going to print money until it absolutely collapses because they owe $30 trillion in debt, like $37 trillion in debt, right? But that's just dollars. That's not actual real. That's not like gold or anything. That's just dollars. We can print you $37 trillion and that's what we'll do. That was the deal, right? I'll print you $37 trillion. They won't be worth jack shit, but I'll do it. And it's going to crash the entire economy, but they don't care. They're still going to be rich. They have all their assets and their houses and their yachts and stuff like that. Their land. Land is going to be insanely expensive. You're going to have to rent land like a fucking turnip farmer, like a feudal turnip farmer. And they're not going to let you read or think or anything like that.
Or start a war somewhere, one or the other.
What? And you expect me to pay $2,000 and above for rent? And you want me to make 3 times that? Like, make it make sense. How is people...
Tejas says, John can only take 2 bears and 2 otters at a time. Thanks for the gay jokes.
For surviving out here. I
makes me feel right at home on my show. Lots of gay jokes. John, you're gay. You ride that e-bike today. How's the AIDS? Is it killing you? Is it rotting your insides? Yeah, how's the, you should have taken PrEP, but now it's too late because the skin is falling off your back. You're gay, John. Did I tell you that?
I haven't.
Did I tell you
really
how
want
gay
to know,
you?
how are people surviving?
They're not.
Oh, you have nothing to say? That's probably because you're drowning in cum. It just gurgles.
And then they want to get on you
Credit
about
cards.
living, allowing people to come stay with you and they paying a portion of the rent. So people can't stay there if they're not.
Pop says, homeless guy stole my peaches. I could have been okay with it if he left me one fucking peach. No, a homeless guy came to his tree and stole every peach. And I bet he went to the side of the highway to sell peaches. to sell hot stolen peaches. Big B, thank you. Wages will never keep up with the cost of living. Here's some fiat currency. Thank you. It will be worth less next year.
On the lease, and you can get in trouble for that and evicted for that. And on top of that, they want your the deposit, which
Zach says, sorry about the age, John. That's rough.
is the equivalent of the rent, the first month rent. And
Thanks, dude. Well, the real problem is my parents are just so disappointed. And, gay son and all.
then last month's rent, and then they want your credit score to be extra high. Mine is 790.
If somebody stole all the peaches off my tree, I have a peach tree, but it hasn't produced yet. But if somebody came and stole all the peaches off my tree, I would blow them away with a shotgun. I would murder that person. I know it would be over peaches that literally grow on trees, right? And that would seem like going too far. But I'd be like, this is Florida. Those are my peaches. And he deserved to die because he stole all of them. If he took one peach, I wouldn't bother, right? I wouldn't bother killing somebody, killing a man. But if he stole every peach, I'd be like, how am I going to make a fucking cobbler now? Where is my cobbler? Where is my cobbler? And then homicide would be the only way out.
96.
I would go blind with rage.
I will qualify, but again,
The future is if you don't meet a certain threshold, they're going to up your rent, and they do that at the lower tier rentals. But pretty soon it's going to be like this much if you have this credit score, this much if you have this credit score.
What's a 10 Jello? Dansot says I would pay people to take the 10 Jellos off my tree. It's got way too many. What's a 10 Jello? Is that like a tangerine? I don't know what that is.
Or this much if you have this credit score. I don't even know if that's...
Big B says, your property, your food. I don't see an issue. Blast away. I know. That'd be like somebody stealing my Instacart order off of my... right? Like, that's my food to feed my kids. You are trying to harm my children. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. And, would I regret it? Killing a man for stealing peaches? Peaches, not a peach. One peach, I'd be like, fine, you can take a peach. That's fine. Take a peach. But I don't know. I don't even know if I'd be okay with that. Because if one homeless guy takes a peach, then he's all like, hey, you can take one free peach from that tree. And then I have a zillion homeless people coming into my yard, dumping their trash everywhere, stealing my peaches. I might just have to start blasting away.
It's legal, but I think they're going to find some way to where it's more expensive the worse your credit score. Or where are you going to go? The overpass? There's this...
My dad has tiny balls. Says, I have 2 peach trees. I must be rich. I have more than Al Salan Bajan, Prince of Central Florida. Who said I have 1 peach tree?
Really nasty thing.
I have 1 peach tree, but I have 2 orange trees. I have some grapes. I think there's some avocados out there.
In real estate, in investor world,
it's a nice piece of property. What?
Is they know at the bottom tier, like the class...
It's got a canal in the back. There's otters that are swimming through it. Sucks to suck.
D apartments. That there's nowhere else for you to go. Trailer park.
I go fish, and I can pull fish right out of there. Pull fish right out of the canal.
Overpass. And then once you get to the trailer park, it's like up in the rent on a fishbowl because there's nowhere else you can go. Especially if there's something wrong, like you have a felony.
It's 10 minutes from the beach. Suck my dick.
Criminal record, bad credit, sex offender, something like that. There's nowhere for you to go. So they know they can get away with this.
For the average
You want to start flexing on me, Dad? My dad has tiny balls. I had to...
American. That's not doable. That is not doable. They want you to spend every 8...
Knobs Dog says a Tangelo is a citrus hybrid, typically a cross between a tangerine and a pomelo or a grapefruit. That doesn't sound that good. No, I don't think I'd be interested in that.
An ounce every minute of the day at somebody's job collecting hours and hours and money.
Despite says I don't even like peaches or a peach tree. I'll be damned if I let some bum eat them. Yeah, you don't want bums on your property in general, right? Even if they're not eating your peaches, your delicious peaches off your tree.
Money and money and money. When do you get to sleep? When do you actually get to be at home? You don't even get to be at home. How is any of this sustainable? It's not. The housing crisis.
Well, my dad has tiny balls. Says I have grapes and blackberries and cherries and plums and mulberries. Haha, yeah, beach wins. I don't have blackberries. I don't have cherries or plums. I don't know what a mulberry is.
Is already bad enough. There isn't any more low-income housing. I know because I work in housing, so I know.
Housing, she's like, she got to be a social worker. She has to be a social worker. Do social workers actually do anything? Do they socialize? I don't know what social workers do.
People are really hurting, really struggling to live and survive. And it's going to be a lot more homeless people that do have jobs, but they can't afford to get apartments.
Yeah, there is a lot of those. There's a lot of people with jobs that live in their cars. I'm just saying.
For sure.
And that's a lot of homeless people that I see. They actually work.
She has to be retarded too. Yeah, I mean, like, if not retarded, like, what do we want to call retarded? Like, what can we finally agree on if you have an IQ below yada yada, you're retarded. Let's define it now. I know they had a definition of retarded back in like the 70s, and it was like 85 or something like that. And then way too many people of a certain type landed in that. And so they had to lower it to like 75. Maybe we should just raise that back up.
But they can't afford to get.
Now it's below 75. But that's still like half of them.
Moved out.
Still like half of them. That's pretty much everybody in Africa except for the elite Africans, right? That's the elite Africans are above 75. Like most of Somalia is like 60 and below. Which is, I don't know if you know this, but a typical gorilla is like 75 to 80. Not even a human being, a gorilla.
My own apartment when I was 19 years old, okay?
What? A fucking gorilla that talks with its hands like the movie Congo.
I had it was 1 bedroom, 1 bath. It was $625. 1 bedroom now is over $1,200. A 2-bedroom back then was $800 at the most.
Dan Stott says Somalis are damn near retarded. Near? Near?
$725 on the low end.
What do you mean by near? That's why I was just saying we need to have a level where we're like, that person is a retard. A retard. Right? I'm putting the emphasis on the back end. Yeah. Look, if your entire country has an average IQ of 62, that's retarded. That is a retarded country. That's a country full of retards. That's not damn near anything. That's full blownsies. That's full blownsies.
That's when I moved out. Now it has tripled. That is not sustainable. And a lot more people are going to.
Knobsock says 85 to 114, average intelligence 115 to 129, above average or bright 130 to 144 is moderately gifted. Gorilla IQs are between 70 and 90. It says Pops. 70 and 95, which is actually a pretty smart gorilla. 95 is a pretty smart gorilla. But yeah. So a stupid gorilla is smarter than your average Somalian.
To go homeless. Period. Now,
a stupid gorilla.
They being little picky about how many people you can have.
Christian says Coco the gorilla can move into my neighborhood anytime. Sure, and he'd probably be useful.
Have living in a home or an apartment. But how do you expect people to survive?
I can't believe a stupid gorilla is smarter than the majority of Somalians. Because the average, right? The average It's got to be a majority of that. That's like, wow.
So I have been seeing a lot of comments about renting and owning as a single woman. And I just want to know.
Thought says, I think if you spell 2 as 2, you're probably around 75. I think the average is probably less than 100 nowadays. Yeah, depending on where you are, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it is. But like, the entire IQ system was invented because they made the average IQ 100 because in Northern Europe, the average person was roughly 100. It was like 100. That was supposed to be the average. That's the top of the bell curve, right? And so if you were more gifted than that or less gifted than that, then you would have a higher or lower IQ than 100, which would be the baseline. But now the average IQ in America, it used to be like 107, right? Back in like the 60s. But now it's dropped to like 96 for obvious reasons.
You guys' honest opinions, single women in the comments. Even if you're not single, you're married, just whatever commentary you want to have about it, please drop that below in the comments. I have been seeing a lot of people talk about this, and a lot of women, especially single women, they're saying that being a homeowner is not for the weak. You know, all the things that come with being a homeowner, and now you have to be the lawn care person and all of that stuff, and you have to be the maintenance person, and they feel like it's just not worth it. They would rather do a townhome.
Zach says retarded bitches give great head. I'm sure you're right.
Or a condo. It seemed like home owner.
Right. I mean, because look, I like, there's got to be a reason they're here. Everyone has been gifted certain attributes for their genetic line to continue into this current era, right? And if you have nothing else, you always have to have something. You always like a great set of tits, or like you give mean head, or you gotta have something. Everybody's special, right, babe? Maybe he gives great head. I don't know.
Ownership used to be the goal. Like, it seems like that
She was like, my dad's watching, and I was like, maybe he gives great head.
used to be the goal, and that was the one thing that everybody.
I wasn't talking about you, all right? You can bake. That's why you're here. Chop, chop, chop. Right?
Like reaching for. And I don't know if it's the economy now
Oh
or
my
like,
God.
I don't know, but it seems
And
like.
it's not even my fault your dad's watching. I'm not changing the show because your dad's watching.
Like, that's just not the goal anymore. I think the main thing for me is I definitely want a yard. I want space for Landy to be able to run in, to play in, to be able to, buy a tree house.
I tell you, home ownership right now is me dealing.
Thought says any IQ test that isn't administered by an official proctor doesn't count. The websites are BS and give people false expectations. Yeah, sure. Well, yeah. I mean, you take an online IQ test, you should obviously take that with a grain of salt. People can cheat. It doesn't matter. That's why it's fucking retards that do that. Invariably, it is always retards who post their IQ test results on Twitter. Always. Every single time.
With the government for the permitting to do it legally. Just to do it legally in their eyes has been so hard to the point where I feel.
Thought says Mensa will give an IQ test for about $100. Some psychiatrists do, when the kid's retarded. And kids eligible for gifted take it around third grade, usually Stanford, Binet, or Whistler. Don't let your kid do that. Don't let your kid take an IQ test at third grade. Do not, because they're not looking for gifted kids. They're looking for test subjects. They're like, I'm not even kidding you. That's some MK Ultra bullshit. They're going to be like, oh, your kid is being put in a gifted program where we're going to do like science tests and shit on him. Don't do that. Don't ever do that.
My last client was like, you know what? I don't want to own anything anymore. I don't want to deal with owning a house, maintaining it.
Zach says, you're so hard up for views you enlist parent-in-laws. I didn't tell him to watch the show. I didn't. This is the internet, man. He doesn't have to be here. I'm not telling people to be here. But yes.
Dealing with the grass cutting.
Can you get your in-laws to please watch the show? I'm trying to buff my numbers here, all right? Times are tough.
Dealing with everything, every appliance has to be replaced, roofs have to be replaced, ACs have to be replaced, versus just renting and somebody else takes care of it. And if I don't like it, I can move somewhere else. Well, the only other side of that was during the real estate crisis last few years, you couldn't find a place to rent. People were begging for a place to rent. I remember reading all the messages. So it's like...
My dad has tiny balls, says, my girlfriend was in all honors classes throughout all education, decent college, graduated. She's still retarded. Yeah. And I've seen that so many times. I've seen valedictorian. I've never seen a male valedictorian at any school ever. And the valedictorian, they're always girls. And they're always fucking idiots. They're always idiots. Always the ones with the best grades are the dumbest people. It is weird how that works. It's not that weird. It's really not that weird. I mean, the schools are specifically geared towards women, towards girls and stuff like that. And it really tries to stifle young boys in their creativity because they don't want boys to be creative, because boys will try to take over society, and society is already spoken for. So they push the girls up, and then they push them into like higher education, right? Their most fertile years. So that way they won't have more boys, more people in general, and it'll shrink the population. And then you also make these girls as unappetizing as possible, right? You make them into wild sluts. They cut their hair all short. They get all fucking crazy. This is all depopulation. That's what it's about. It's not, that's the only thing it's about. The education system is a tool, a weapon used against America's youth. Full stop.
Which way do you want it? You know, which way? It's tough. I remember my first apartment. I had no furniture. I had a lawn chair in the living room. I had a TV that was used sitting on a cardboard box. And
Bhutan says, dude, I had a buddy that tested in the 99th percentile on every test from age 5 and up. Got red pilled, got super depressed, and drank himself legit retarded, super sad. So this is actually not uncommon, right? People with high IQs, like actually like exceptional IQs, they find it difficult to ingratiate themselves into society. And a lot of them will get into drugs. A lot of them will get into alcohol and stuff like that. And if you don't pull yourself out of that, it can be a full-blown self-destructive, right? Some people do, some people don't.
And I slept on a cot for a few years, a couple years. Yeah, I was pure bachelor mode. And, you know, single females, like it's hard. If you, I mean, I remember when I met Samantha, she had a pretty decent job and she had her little house and she barely made it. Barely made it. Tons of student loans, stressed to death, and always, you know, upside down in her car. You know, life's tough when you're young.
Yo,
Yep,
so this is
well,
some next level.
Life just sucks.
The landlord put a lock on the outdoor faucet.
Get an angle grinder.
You can't make this one up, folks. You turn the faucet, and it sprays up like that. Our old landlord let us use the hose to wash down the cars, but the new one said no hoses, so we started using buckets. And then we came out today to wash the car, and there's a lock and key on the thing. Can't make...
Thought says, I have a genius IQ friend who also happened to have family money. He left one day to be a trucker and has been on the road ever since. Super addicted to benzos. Can't handle reality. Yeah, so like, I've seen dumb people get successful. And I've seen smart people just go into a tailspin with their lives. Being smart is helpful, of course, but it's not it can get very complicated, right? Very smart people aren't necessarily going to be millionaires automatically, right? First of all, they have to have the motivation to actually do that, and some get very deep in thought and philosophical about life itself, and be like, what is the pursuit of money even about? It can, and then they're like, well, I'm going to spend the rest of my life just on the road and see, trying to experience experiences. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Take that one up. The big man always wins.
Makes me think that maybe they were doing some stuff they probably weren't supposed to be doing, or they've left it on a lot, or I'm wondering who's paying for the water there. If it's within their, their bills that the landlord covers, I'm guessing he's like, you know what, you're washing cars, you're leaving the water running, or they're...
Despite says it's surprising the kinds of keys for things you can buy on Amazon. Like what? What can you buy on Amazon? What kind of keys can you buy on Amazon? Keys. I see keys. Hold on, I'll show you. Oh, wrong one. There we go. I see keys. Not for any specific use. Keys for what?
Running a car wash out of the apartment building. What do you think about that? Comments down below. Should they do that? Should they not? I think there's been a lot of problems there before, and they squished it.
Texas, and I relocated.
Ben says my IQ is 73, which is C. C-E-E. That's what he spelled.
Located here, and I have been living in a hotel for a year. My car was repossessed in February, so I've been...
So, are you doing like a grade? A 73 is a C? Is that what the joke is? Or do you just have an IQ of 73? It would make sense. You're watching this show. I mean, you're probably not a bright star.
In a car since the end of February, maybe the beginning of March. I have been running that car for 9 months. I am so ready to get my own car. I pay $275 a week, and just living in the hotel itself, I'm living in a hotel because my credit is bad and I can't get an apartment, and I'm renting a car because my credit is bad. I don't have any money.
Ben, you're struggling, bro. Are you just hammered right now?
Save, so I can't go to a buy here, pay here, or I don't have any money to put down on a car. I'm working on my credit. My credit score is rising, thank God, but it's not where it needs to be.
You got bad credit? No way.
Be for me to go out and purchase.
You got bad credit? Now you live in a hotel? No way. You don't pay your bills? You borrow money with no intention of paying it back? No way. No way.
Those things. So I've been in for a year now, and I just wanted to...
Feral Pigeon says, I'm sure lots of smart people watch your show. They just don't comment. I wonder why.
Come on here and just share with you guys, and you guys share with me.
They're just like sitting there. They're like, man, this guy is gay.
How was y'all journey? How was y'all...
E-bikes? E-bikes?
It hurts to listen to these stories. She's in a situation trying to dig herself out, and the way the economy is rigged, it's really hard. Once you get into the renting a car, renting...
Ben says, I've never been able to type. I think the fastest is maybe 35 words per minute. That is pretty slow. I think I can type faster than that, but I don't. It's riddled with grammar and spelling errors, so I don't even attempt to spell words correctly anymore. Most people get what you're trying to say. Unless you're on Twitter, then you have to fucking be like a goddamn dictionary and look everything up, because then they're going to be like, oh, that's a spelling error. Your entire point is moot. Oh, it's a typo. You're retarded. It's a typo. Fine, it's a typo.
A place to live. There's no stability, and you can't build it.
Knob says, John, take Christian's free IQ test. I got 121 up to 137. Okay, Christian, go ahead and hit me with the questions in the chat, and I will answer them on air, verbally. Go ahead, start. Does somebody have a timer? Good.
Any wealth. The only way to really build wealth in America.
We got 12 minutes. I'll do it in 12 minutes.
Is to own assets that hedge you from inflation, because no matter how much money you save, you're losing 3 to 5% every year just
Pop says grammar Nazi. Yes, among other types of Nazi, yes.
From inflation, with the cost of everything going
Like all
up. It's
types.
crazy.
3 times the amount of rent. So why is that a requirement? I just took my younger sister to go look at apartments. We found one that she...
Knobsdog says it's patterns. You have to go to the site. Well, then just say like triangle and stuff like that. And I'll be like, yes, or whatever the answer happens to be.
loves. The price point is literally almost...
No, that's not a triangle. Yes, that's a triangle. No, that's not a triangle. Yes, that's a triangle. See, I'm knocking it out of the park right now. I mean, who would question my IQ except for, like, you know, the people at the school they made me see?
As much as my mortgage, but apparently that's like the average now. Going to fill out the
They're like, John's having a lot of problems, so we're going to need him to see somebody. And I did.
paperwork. Come to find out, you have to make 3 times the amount of rent
They determined I wasn't retarded. I was just angry.
after tax to be able to be qualified to rent the apartment. I want you to make almost $6,000. You can.
Evictions are really expensive for a landlord, and vacancy is really expensive for the landlord. Probably the two biggest things.
Thought says, I think using one of those sites automatically means low IQ. Well, sounds like somebody didn't get the triangle question correct.
And having a bad...
How many sides does a triangle have? Thought, go. You have 3 minutes.
tenant that can make $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 worth of damage is very expensive for a landlord. So they're trying to hedge that.
I really gave her a lot of time.
But at the same time, who can afford that? But until vacancy happens,
I know. Thought's just salty. She's just salty because she was like, it was clearly a circle, but she said triangle, and it was not. It was a circle.
Apartments and people are not renting at that level. It's not going to come down. And if insurance keeps going up and taxes keep going up and the maintenance man keeps...
Big B says, I said purple when I saw triangle. This chat has no hope. There's nobody in here with even an ounce of skill or talent.
It's going up and the lawyer keeps...
This is the dregs of society that's in this chat.
Going up and the accountant keeps going up. Rent has to keep going up or it'll be a ghost town.
God, I hope this isn't like a fair cross section of society. I hope this isn't like I hope this is a niche audience that just all had like behavior problems in elementary school, just like me.
Afford the apartment. Why can you not provide like bank statements for the last like 3 to 6 months showing like your...
Critical Thought says, this one's too hard. Give me a different one. That's what she said.
Your spending habits and your budgeting and tracking.
Because that would breed to inequality. Like, unless you're a qualified lender, figuring that out, what she just said.
Come on, Thought. Come on. You know you're amongst children here. You have to use your phrasing a little bit better.
It would be discriminative. Somebody would discriminate against somebody by doing that. I don't think you can do that legally. Comments down below if I'm wrong. But I think discrimination...
Strawberry says, my mom tells me I'm smart and skilled and talented. Well, your mom's a woman and therefore a liar.
Would really happen if you could see people's bank statements. Also, it would be a privacy issue. People's bank statements would be...
Pop says he's still an 8th grader. I think that's true.
Everywhere. Their personal information would be everywhere. It'd be a nightmare.
Where they can see, realistically, can you truly afford it? I don't understand. Like, how are most people affording an apartment? Average American, especially college students who genuinely need an apartment close to a campus, they're not making $72,000 a year. Make it make sense.
They're not making 72 grand. Okay, all right. I overestimated. I mean, like, damn, people are a lot poorer than I thought they were. People are poor as shit.
So I'm currently on the apartment hunt for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. And my budget used to be like under $1,500 because I was trying to save some money and pay off my student loans. Wow.
Student loans are going to eat you alive. And it didn't work because you're still stupid. People have this idea that if they go to college, they're automatically going to get smarter. And that's not true. If you go into college as an idiot, you're going to come out as a brainwashed idiot. It's not going to change. You may have a degree, but trust me, I have seen some people come out of college and I've been like, you're a doctor? Because they're fucking idiots. And yes, you can go to the fucking med school and like come out and be a doctor and you're still a goddamn idiot. I have seen it. I promise you I've seen it.
Like paying for rent, and it got me nowhere.
And the worst thing about med students is they think they're gods. They think they're absolute gods. I'm not going to say they're all stupid. Some of them are smart. Sure. Yeah, of course. But like, they all think they're gods. And they're not. They're not. There's a middle ground doctor who is like kind of all right smart. And there's some pretty smart ones. But there's a number of stupid doctors out there that is way too high. It's way too high.
Because now I have to move out of this apartment because it's not well maintained.
Big B says, yeah, $60K a few years ago was decent. $100K a year now, you're considered working class. Yeah. Yep. $60K back in like 2018 was probably fine. $60K now, yeah, I don't see how you can make that work. $100K now is probably $60K a few years, like back in 2018.
And I need a new apartment. What's frustrating is to then move into a newer apartment that you guarantee are not going to have problems at.
My dad has tiny balls, says, yes, John, everyone is an idiot or a coward or lazy and walk around thinking they are great. COVID showed us that. Showed that to us all. Yeah. No. Man, that sucked. Because then you just realize, like, wow. I didn't realize that we were this fucked. I had like blinders on before that. And I was all like, we're going to be okay. But when that happened and you see all the fucking idiots out there, it's just like, wow. We're not going to make it. People, I mean, we're not going to make it.
It's like 1,800, 2,000, which is like insane to pay for an apartment while in grad school to guarantee that I'm living in safe conditions. Like, I just don't understand, like, how this is possible. How are people unless they're dead in a couple of weeks?
Dan Snot says, I went to radio school 20 years ago for something I could have learned on my own. What's radio school? Were you like... Now, you're going to have to really answer me because, like, is it like radio hosting? Is it radio broadcasting? Is it actually working on the technical equipment of like, radios? What is radio school?
Either is a much better option than paying more to be prisoner in my apartment complex for another year, especially when the prices on the website have been hundreds of dollars cheaper for well over a year. I've wanted to move out since I moved in, and it has been a nightmare every step of the way, but I can only move if I manage to find...
Oh, keys to steal a caterpillar. They'd leave those in there anyway. You know how many times I've seen a key in a fucking caterpillar? They don't care. What are you going to do? You're going to drive it away?
Find a corporate job or have a co-signer, and the only family that could help are all baby boomers who haven't had to rent themselves for 40 to 50 years and simply refused for no good reason. I was laid off after I moved to the other side of the country, and I've been stuck here ever since. I finally found enough...
She's going to become a whore. She's going to go on OnlyFans and like she'll maybe make $10 a month showing her coochie off. Maybe. Honestly, the OnlyFans chicks out there, it has got to be a shot to the ego. An absolute shot to the ego when they think they're all hot and then they're all like, well, money's tough and I thought I was better than this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to become a millionaire on OnlyFans. They flash their butthole on a camera and they don't make any money. Any money at all. Oh my God, dude. Now your butthole is all over the internet for the rest of your life. What an idiot. So not only are you ugly, you're stupid too. No wonder you're poor. L. I don't even know if that was the right hand, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Serious person who no one can get past, but plot twist.
That's a huge L. That is an enormous L.
Everyone can get past them. It's happened way too
That is an epic, life-altering L. Right? Oh, don't be that chick. Don't be that fucking stupid. You know, believe in yourself. You are stupid, though. So, it's probably not hard believing in yourself. Thanks for coming, guys. I hope you appreciated this episode of the Sulk stream, and as much as I appreciated you. I hope you guys get out there and make your dreams come true like you make mine come true every single day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Top 5% of Rumble creators over here. Top 5. Did you know? Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. 95% of people are doing worse than me on this, which is sad. It's pretty sad. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a fantastic evening. Stay strong, stay valiant, make me proud every step of the way. I hope you guys have a great night. I will see you tomorrow. We're doing a locals only show tomorrow. So if you want to come and watch me on locals, help me keep the lights on. I would very much appreciate that. I think it's only $5 a month. You get access to all my locals and all of that. And obviously all my premium stuff and all that stuff. Anyways, until tomorrow, drink a lot of water, get a good night's sleep, and take care of yourselves, because I honestly care about you too. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Good night.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, Black Ness Monster 2, government lies, they're feeding me their goo. I'm diving deep into this rabbit hole, uncovering the truth, setting fire to their control. I got small nipples, but my voice is loud, blowing like thunder in this crazy crowd. They say I'm crazy, but I call it woke, unraveling the madness with every word I spoke.